I know what you're thinking. Damn, where did he get that shirt? So now that we're looking as flashy as humanly possible, it's time to do a video I've wanted to do for a while, and this is identify clubs that you probably haven't heard of, or maybe you've heard of them but you didn't know that they had some of the best youth facilities in the world in Football Manager. This can be incredibly valuable because the better the youth facilities, not only does it attract better youth players, more so than the surrounding clubs, whether this team happens to be in a power nation or whether they happen to be in an obscure nation, they're going to attract better players and they're going to be closer to their potential. These are hidden gem clubs, essentially, where you can find the best players, kind of like my Nexus page, which is essentially a Steam, except when you buy games, it gives me the money to be able to pay Reese. You have to think about it cyclically, because then I get a percentage of the games. They're not more expensive for you. I get a percentage of the games bought on Nexus, and then that money goes to Reese. Better videos for you. Reese doesn't leave me. But even if he does, like, IL's editing this video, so we're kind of okay. Nexus is just a cool website. You know, I don't work with things unless they aren't cool, like whoever made this shirt. We're going to sort this into a couple of different categories. We have one category where they have the same level youth facilities as Ajax. The next category where they have the same level youth facilities as PSG. Then there's another level above that where they have the same level youth facilities as Bayern. And a level above that where you have the same level youth facilities as Man City, which is the highest level in the game. So starting in the bottom tier, which is still a great tier because you have the same youth facility level as Ajax. And in this tier, there are some surprising ones. First, we got to take a trip to the Orient for our first club. And I just love the name of every club in this country. K-League's finest, Suwon Blue Wings. They have youth facilities at the same level as Ajax. They are not actually a contender for the top of the league, but let's be honest, I didn't know that until I clicked on this page, but I did know that Suwon Blue Wings exists. What you don't know is that they have just ridiculously awesome facilities. They have excellent training facilities, excellent youth facilities at the same level as Ajax. Did I tell them? Did I say that it's the same level as Ajax? Okay, not only that, they have excellent youth recruitment. They have excellent academy coaching. This place is a factory for the finest talent that Korea is going to have to offer. Probably not all of Korea, but like at least the southern part. I've heard there's some sort of conflict going on. But you're like, oh, he's not good enough. Okay. He hasn't found the really obscure ones. Are you sure? Because you've never heard of this next club, which has youth facilities at the exact same level. It's in Belarus, and it's not even the one you're thinking of, okay? It's Minsk. I have no idea what this club is. I really don't. It's a semi-professional club. It makes no sense, but there's weird money things happening in like Eastern Europe, right? There's oligarchs that pop up in random clubs and state-run somethings or others. I don't really know, so I learned not to judge. In Minsk, when you look at the facilities, has excellent training facilities, well, excellent youth facilities. The training facilities are good. The academy coaching, the youth recruitment, it's all excellent. Why? I have no idea. But if you're looking for a talented Belarusian player, you might just want to throw a scout on this area. I mean, obviously the club's not going to have great reputation to attract players, but this club in Football Manager 21 has the same level youth facilities as Ajax. How that would look at a semi-pro club, I don't even know. They rented out a McDonald's or something. Extra training space by the Friars. They're not even like in a league. There's no year founded. They don't even exist. Do they exist? So it's a former student team that broke affiliation and plays in the youth leagues in Belarus, but has produced 7-8 players that have played for the Belarusian national team. Go them. That's cool. Next up, we're headed to Israel for two options, actually. I don't really remember which one Ayal, who's editing this video, is a bigger fan of, but we have Maccabi Haifa and Maccabi Tel Aviv. And so those are your two options. Both of them have the exact same youth facilities at excellent, the same level as Ajax, because you might not be surprised to hear this. There's significant money in the Israeli Premier League, and Maccabi Tel Aviv is a little bit better. So for the list purposes, it's Maccabi Haifa because they're a little bit more well hidden, while Tel Aviv is in the Champions League every year, getting knocked out in the third round of qualifying with a certain vigor. These two teams are going to spearhead the development of Israeli youth. So if you're looking for an Israeli Wonderkid, then congratulations. You have two options. We have to continue to travel the world because everybody tells you you're supposed to do that in your early 20s, but COVID's going on. So I'm in this chair traveling the world in Football Manager. It's exciting. And on this globe-trotting tour, we're headed to Colombia. Colombia, right there. To a club called Envigado, a club that has articles on the World Football Index written about the Colombia's talent factory, James Rodriguez, and other famous Colombian players that have come from this side. This might be one of the most important ones that we talk about in this video because Colombia has cheap players. They're under 5 million. They can have outlandish world-class potential. I have built a lot of my winning clubs in Football Manager using this, including some on my Twitch save. We've already signed one Colombian at Oriental Dragon in the top flight of Portugal. We want to sign more. We actually did. David Polito. I remember his name. Shouldn't be hard. I play it all day. I can't remember if we got them from Envigado, but Envigado is the best place to find the best Colombian players. That's where you start looking. And it's a great country to have a club like this in. Look at that. Exceptional youth recruitment. Excellent coaching and youth facilities. Mwah. But now for the second one that I know for a fact you didn't know existed. It's an academy, and there's a couple of these around the world, the academy JMGs, but the one in Mali is the one that stands out. Because if there is anywhere that is going to concentrate talent in a place like Mali, which has a solid youth rating, can produce a good national team that makes World Cups and a few players that can be legitimately world class throughout any cycle of your save, and they have no significant clubs that are attracting attention except for the amateur academies JMG de Bakayoko or whatever. Any of the JMG academies will do, but the fact that there's one in Mali is awesome. You should just check it once a year, because why not? What are you doing that's more important than checking an academy in Mali that has the same youth facilities and training apparatus as Ajax? The JMG Academies started in the city of Abidjan in the Ivory Coast, and after it succeeded there, they've expanded. It's a youth development project and academy that has a lot of money and invests in certain areas. So check out the academies. And while you're at it and you're in the Ivory Coast, check out ASEC Mimosas. They don't have good enough youth facilities to be on this list, but there's always a good player on that team. That's the magnet in Ivory Coast for all the good players. You're welcome. Now the next level, we're looking at clubs that are at the same youth facility level of not just Ajax, get that out of here, the same level as PSG. And we start in the Austrian Premier Division. Now Austria is one of the bigger countries will feature on this list, but Admiral Wacker Mödling was probably not the club you were thinking of. They also have excellent youth recruitment. They compete in a league that's good enough to attract good players and develop good players if you aren't able to find them for a few years. And they're not the big Salzburg of the country. They're a hidden team that you can pick out. This means the players are going to be a lot cheaper. That's why they're here. Same level as PSG people. And this also applies to Melbourne City, which if you know anything about Melbourne City, you're going to know that they're a Man City derivative club, but the players are still not Man City expensive. That's just the reason the facilities are so nice, because they're a Man City affiliate in Australia. But we all know the Australians can produce one Tim Cahill per generation, so you're looking to acquire that one, and then whatever generically good goalkeeper they have, they're going to come through Melbourne City. And I think everybody in their Football Manager save knows there's one or two Aussies that's legit world class. You want to grab them. Melbourne City's the place to start. But what about Mexico? Produces good players, but you have no idea where to look. There is a club there that has the same youth facility level as PSG in the game. That would be Pachuca CF. They're not the best club in the country, but that's kind of the theme here. They're just a club that happens to be very good at producing and training young players. Yeah. And now for one, you're like, oh, we're done with the ones that I've never heard of in a country I didn't think of at all. Wrong. Cape Town Spurs FC. Cape Town Spurs FC in South Africa. Same youth facilities level as everybody else here. And they didn't do it with any affiliates. Melbourne City also have excellent youth recruitment. So if you're looking for that hot South African, this is the place to start. We have to start looking further up for a few clubs that make this list that have the same youth facility level as Bayern. We're getting into clubs, some of which you have thought of, or you just didn't know that their youth facilities were that good, and that's why I've included them here. Because the first one that has the same youth facility level as Bayern, which is a step up from PSG, which is a step up from Ajax, is Standard de Liège. I'm so sorry how There's no way I said that right, but I tried. And this can seriously be weaponized. The players are going to be a little more expensive. Standard de Liège has like actual players and is in an actual league. No offense to most of the other leagues that we've talked about, but they are a very good team that's capable of making a Champions League group stage on an off year. But the players are never going to run you more than 15, 20 million as long as you get in there early enough. And that's at like the top line. They're also in a country in Belgium's got one of the best youth ratings in the world. So you couple the ability to develop and find these players with excellent youth recruitment. You're looking at one of the best young player producing clubs in the world. And they're not the only one, because Genk also has that kind of level of youth facility. And we're talking like, you know, like PSG, and then Genk just electrifies above that. So if you're looking to sign from a nation that has like a little higher youth rating, I'm now giving you those options too. There's 2 in Belgium that are just some of the best youth producing clubs in the world. What if you don't want to go to Belgium, but you want to match that same level of America? Not really. Toronto. It's America Light. Toronto FC has the same level of youth facility as Bayern. You gotta love money and not having any idea where to spend it. But Toronto, very, very capable of producing fabulous players. And the youth rating of Canada and the United States, which is where Toronto is going to be pulling from, continues to get better year in and year out. Thank Alphonso Davies for that one. The issue on the other side of this is the MLS can charge a pretty penny. A pretty penny, but that's okay. You can just push through that. Toronto is perennially one of, if not the best club in the MLS year in and year out. That leads to better facilities, leads to player development, the ability to attract the best players from the northern North America region. They're loaded with cash. They've got nowhere to spend it, so the facilities are insane. Awesome. Use it. What if you wanted to just go one higher? You're like, there is a level that I haven't reached yet that I need to reach. It's the apex. The same level as Man City, the highest level youth facilities in the game. The highest level. I've got 2 more teams for you. And the first one is in a nation that has a pretty good youth rating that we haven't touched yet. Krasnodar in Russia has the highest level youth facility in the game. I did not stutter. Suppose anybody at this level would be surprising, like any team in Russia, but they have state-of-the-art youth facilities, and Russia can produce wonderful players consistently in the game. Expect them to come through Krasnodar. The downside is that these players will be pretty expensive. They always are in Russia because Russia has aggressive homegrown rules, and economically speaking, aggressive homegrown rules make good domestic players that much more valuable. So you are going to need to bring some cash to separate these players. But if you're scouting it early, saying, well, who are the 16-year-olds at Krasnodar now? Then you can obviously weasel them away for not as much, because Krasnodar is going to be the magnet for Russian talent. There's one other one that I have a feeling is going to shock a lot of people. There's only one more on this list at the top level of youth facilities. And I have no idea how I'm going to explain this to anyone, but it's Burton Albion in England. I don't know. Why are you looking at me? I'm right. It's right there. You didn't know? State-of-the-art training facilities too. Really? You didn't know? Right under your nose the whole time. Burton Albion's got the top level facilities you can have in the game. Training too. So they're going to reach their potential. The issue for Burton Albion is they're obviously competing against a bunch of other clubs that are potentially bigger than them, but the players that are coming through Burton Albion are going to be well ahead of the level of similar players in League One in England. And so especially in this one, I was going to include regardless, because it's insane that they have the highest. I mean, you're talking about facilities that are significantly better than PSG, significantly better than Ajax, that are, there's nobody that has better facilities in the game, in the world, than Burton Albion. So 51% of you only do your saves in England. This is the team to look at, to raid, to try and sign players. If you want to try and get an English player in, the next Gareth Bale, I know he's Welsh, but there's no English players on Real Madrid. David Beckham's been gone for a while, even though I think Harry Kane would be a nice fit. Sorry, Tottenham. I didn't mean that one. I usually do, but I didn't mean that one. If you want to acquire that type of player, Burton Albion is the place that you want to start because they have the best youth facilities in the world. Them or Krasnodar. Club Bruges does too, but there's already too many Belgian teams on this list, and you already know who they are. I hope this is helpful. I'm sure it will be. This is just cold, hard, surprising facts. That's what we specialize in. I'll see you on stream. Check out the Twitch link down below if you want to hang out with me in my new haircut. My new shirt live. I will be there. Bring your enthusiasm. Bring your bananas. You'll figure it out.